Hello and welcome to Case Management 205, the Self Sufficiency Matrix. I'm your trainer, HMIS System Lead Trisha Cano. During this training, we will be working in the Client Point module within ServicePoint. The Self Sufficiency Matrix assessment can be located on the client's record within the Measurements tab. We will review the 17 domains and associated 5-point scale of each one, work through some examples, and demonstrate how to input that data into ServicePoint correctly. Please note that if you have any questions, you can contact us at the HMIS Help Desk via email at hmissupport@cir.org or by phone or text at 602-908-3605. Thank you, and let's get started. The Self-Sufficiency Matrix is a required assessment for some projects in order to report outcomes to funding entities. However, even though it is not a requirement for all projects, any project who wants to track progress using the tool can do so. The Self-Sufficiency Matrix is used to document a client's progress in your project over time. Depending on the type of project you work in, it is done at varying intervals. For instance, emergency shelters should do the matrix at entry and exit only. Transitional housing should do the matrix at entry every 6 months while in the project and at exit. Permanent housing projects should do the matrix at entry every year at the time of the client's annual assessment and at exit. Please remember the self-sufficiency matrix must be done on every adult. So for those projects who work with families, you would do the self-sufficiency matrix not only on the head of household, but any other adults that entered your project as well. You should also be aware that the self-sufficiency matrix is not meant to be handed to a client to fill out themselves. It is a case management tool that the client's case manager should complete based on the information you gather from the client at entry and/or during the first few case management sessions. You should make yourself familiar with the tool so that you ask the necessary questions in order to complete all 17 domains. Remember, if you make it a conversation rather than just reading from the tool, you're likely to get a better response. For training purposes today, I will have the domains and their corresponding 5-point scale options up on the computer screen as a spreadsheet. And we will toggle back and forth while inputting the data into HMIS. If you find it easier to fill out the matrix on paper first and then enter it into HMIS later, you can do so. Contact the HMIS Help Desk if you need a copy of the spreadsheet, though it should have been included in your training confirmation email for this session. Once you have logged into ServicePoint, then get into the proper Enter Data As mode if necessary for your workflow. In this case, I'm in Enter Data As to a transitional housing project. You should also use the Backdate mode if you're entering data that happened prior to this. In this case, I definitely am because I'm going to go back a year in time. So I'm going to backdate to February 15th, 2014. And lastly, I'm going to look up my client in the system. You can look up your client from the Client Point module either by their name or by their client ID number. So I have a test client in the system that I'm going to use as an example. Once you're on your client's record, you will go to the Measurements tab and click on it. And then you will click on the Add New Measurement. You will choose the tool that you want to use. So since we're talking about the Self-Sufficiency Matrix today, that's what I will choose. And this is going to be the initial Self-Sufficiency Matrix, entered on 2/15/2014, about a year ago. Then you click Continue to actually open up the tool. And once you do that, all 17 domains will open up underneath as you see. Before we start filling out the assessment, I just want you to keep in mind that this is the initial self-sufficiency matrix, and you should consider the client's circumstances the night before they actually entered your project when answering these questions. For instance, if you worked at an emergency shelter and the client had been staying in your shelter for a few days now before you entered the tool, but they were actually homeless sleeping in their car the night before entry, In this case, in the self-sufficiency matrix, the level about shelter and housing would be based on their status of sleeping in a car and not on their current status of sleeping in your shelter. So let's go ahead and get started. In this case, I'm imagining that my client has actually transferred from an emergency shelter into a transitional housing program. So, shelter housing. You have a couple of options. You can click on this little magnifying glass to the left of the domain name, and it will tell you each level and exactly what the definitions are. If you like to do things on paper, we have a spreadsheet that you can obtain, and it does the same thing. It has each domain and then the 5-point scale next to it and what each one means. So the first one is shelter housing. Level 1, homeless or threatened with eviction. Level 2, in transitional, temporary, or substandard housing, and or their current rent or mortgage payment is unaffordable. Level 3, in stable housing that is safe but only marginally adequate. Level 4, household is in safe, adequate, subsidized housing. And Level 5, household is in safe, adequate, unsubsidized housing. In this case, my client came to me from an emergency shelter, so that will be a Level 2. So I will go to shelter housing and choose Level 2. The next one is employment. So the employment options are Level 1, no job. Level 2, temporary, part-time, or seasonal, inadequate pay or no benefits. Level 3, they're employed full-time, inadequate pay, few or no benefits. Level 4, they're employed full-time with adequate pay and benefits. And Level 5, they maintain permanent employment with adequate income and benefits as well. So I'm going to say my client came into the shelter or into the transitional housing project with no job. So that would be a Level 1. Next is income. Level 1, no income at all. Level 2, inadequate income and or spontaneous or inappropriate spending. Level 3, can meet basic needs with a subsidy or appropriate spending. Level 4, can meet basic needs and manage debt without assistance. And Level 5, income is sufficient, well managed, and they even have discretionary income and they're able to save. So I'm going to pretend like this particular client I'm working with. They came in with receiving child support only, which is inadequate income. So I'm going to put them at a Level 2. Next is food and nutrition. Level 1, no food or means to prepare it. Relies to a significant degree on other sources of free or low-cost food. Level 2, household is on food stamps. Level 3, can meet basic food needs but requires occasional assistance. Level 4, can meet basic food needs without any assistance. And Level 5, can purchase any food the household desires. So for this example, I'm going to say the household is on food stamps. And I already forgot what that level was. Level 2. Great. Next is childcare. Childcare is one of those optional if you're working with a single client or you're working with older clients that don't have minor children with them, then childcare would be not applicable and that would be your choice. But for training today, I'm going to demonstrate every single domain. Childcare Level 1 means they need childcare, but none is available or accessible, and or the child is not eligible. Level 2, childcare is unreliable or unaffordable. Inadequate supervision is a problem for childcare that is available. Level 3, affordable, subsidized childcare is available but limited. Level 4, reliable, affordable childcare is available, no need for subsidies. And Level 5, they are able to select the quality childcare of their choice. So I'm going to put them at a Level 3 just for an example today for childcare. And then you have children's education. Again, if you had a client without minor children, this would not be applicable. Level 1, one or more school-aged children are not enrolled in school. Level 2, one or more school-aged children are enrolled in school, but they're not attending classes. Level 3, enrolled in school, but one or more children only occasionally attending classes. Level 4, enrolled in school and attending classes most of the time. And Level 5, all school-age children enrolled and attending on a regular basis. So for example, today I'm going to say Level 4, they're attending most of the time. Then you have adult education. Level 1, there's literacy problems and/or no high school diploma or GED are serious barriers to employment. Enrolled in literacy and/or GED program. Level 2, enrolled in literacy or GED program and/or has sufficient command of English to where language is not a barrier to employment. Level 3, they have a high school diploma or a GED. Level 4, they need additional education or training to improve their employment situation and/or to resolve literacy problems to where they're able to function effectively in society. And Level 5, they have completed education training needed to become employable, no literacy problems. So in this case, I'm going to say they're Level 4. They have their diploma, but they need additional training. Next, we have healthcare coverage. So, healthcare coverage. Level 1 is no medical coverage with an immediate need. That means they have an injury or they're very ill. Level 2, no medical coverage and great difficulty accessing medical care when needed. Some household members may be in poor health. Level 3, some members, such as maybe only children, are on Access, which is the Arizona form of Medicaid. And Level 4, all members can get medical care when needed, but it may strain the budget. And Level 5, all members are covered by affordable, adequate health insurance. So for this example, I'm going to say that they are on Access, which is Level 3. Next, we have life skills. Level 1, they're unable to meet basic needs, such as hygiene, food, activities of daily living. Level 2, they can meet a few, but not all, needs of daily living without assistance. Level 3, they can meet most, but not all, daily living needs without assistance. Level 4, able to meet all basic needs of daily living without assistance. And Level 5, able to provide beyond basic needs of daily living for self and family. So in this case, I'm going to say a Level 3, they can meet most of their basic living needs, they just don't have enough money. Next is family relations. Level 1, lack of necessary support from family or friends. Abuse, such as domestic violence or child abuse, is present, and there may even be child neglect. Level 2, family and friends may be supportive, but they lack the ability or resources to help. Family members do not relate well to one another, and there is a potential for abuse or neglect. Level 3, some support from family or friends. Family members acknowledge and seek to change negative behavior, and they're learning to communicate and support. Level 4, strong support from family or friends. Household members support each other's efforts. And Level 5, they have a healthy and expanding support network. Household is stable and communication is consistently open. So for this example, I'm going to put Level 3. Next domain is mobility. Mobility Level 1. No access to transportation, public or private, may have a car that's inoperable. Level 2, transportation is available but unreliable, unpredictable, unaffordable. They may have a car but no insurance or a license, etc. Level 3, transportation is available and reliable, but it's limited and or inconvenient. Drivers are licensed but they're minimally insured. Level 4, transportation is generally accessible to meet basic travel needs. And Level 5, transportation is readily available and affordable, and their car is adequately insured. So for this example, I'm going to say Level 4. Community involvement. Level 1, it is not applicable due to a crisis situation. The family or the client is just in survival mode. Level 2, socially isolated and or no social skills, and or they lack the motivation to become involved. Level 3, lacks knowledge of ways to become involved. Level 4, some community involvement, such such as advisory groups or support groups, but they have barriers such as transportation or childcare issues. And level 5, they're actively involved in their community. So for this example, I'm going to say level 3, they want to be involved, they just lack the skills. The next domain is parenting skills. Again, if you're working with a client that does not have minor children in your project, you can put not applicable. Parenting skills level 1. There are safety concerns regarding their parenting skills. Level 2. Parenting skills are minimal. Level 3. Parenting skills are apparent, but they're not adequate. Level 4. Parenting skills are adequate. And level 5. Parenting skills are well developed. So in this case, I'm going to say they are adequate. Next domain is legal. Level 1, current outstanding tickets or warrants. Level 2, current charges or a trial is pending and they're in non-compliance with probation or parole. Level 3, they're fully compliant with probation or parole terms. Level 4, have successfully completed probation or parole within the past 12 months and no new charges have been filed. Level 5, no active criminal justice involvement in more than 12 months, or they've never had a felony criminal history. So for my example, I'm going to say no criminal history. Next is mental health domain. Level 1. Oh, and before I go on, I'll keep this in mind. We're not asking you to diagnose. This is just based on your observations as their case manager. So level 1, they are a danger to self or others. They have recurring suicidal ideation. They're experiencing severe difficulty in day-to-day life due to psychological problems. Level 2, recurrent mental health symptoms that may affect behavior, but not a danger to self or others. Persistent problems with functioning due to mental health symptoms. Level 3, mild symptoms may be present, but they're transient. Only moderate difficulty in functioning due to mental health problems. Level 4, minimal symptoms that are expectable responses to life stressors, only slight impairment in functioning. And level 5, symptoms are absent or rare, good or superior functioning in wide range of activities, no more than everyday problems or concerns. So for this example, I'm going to say my pretend client thinks I'm done, has mild symptoms. Then we have substance abuse. Level 1, meets criteria for severe abuse or dependence, resulting problems so severe that institutional living or hospitalization may be necessary. Level 2, meets criteria for dependence, preoccupation with use and/or obtaining drugs or alcohol, withdrawal or withdrawal avoidance behaviors are evident, and use results in avoidance or neglect of essential life activities. Level 3, use within the last 6 months, evidence of persistent or reoccurrent social, occupational, emotional, or physical problems related to use, such as disruptive behavior or housing problems. Problems have persisted for at least 1 month. Level 4, client has used during the last 6 months, but no evidence of persistent or recurrent social, occupational, emotional, or physical problems are related to the use. No evidence of recurrent dangerous use. And level 5, no drug or alcohol abuse in the last 6 months. So I'm going to, for this example client, I'm going to put a level 4. And then finally, we have the domain of safety. Level 1, the home or residence that the client is coming from was not safe. Immediate lethality is extremely high, and even possible CPS involvement. Level 2, safety is threatened, temporary protection is available, level of lethality is high. Level 3, current safety is minimally adequate. Ongoing safety planning is essential. Level 4, environment is safe, however, future is uncertain. Safety planning is important. And level 5, environment is apparently safe and stable. In this case, I'm going to put level 3. Once you've completed all the domains and assigned the 5-point scale level, then you click Save and Exit. And you will be returned to your Measurements tab preview pane, where now you can see you have an initial self-sufficiency matrix completed, and they have an average score of 3.12, and it was done in February of 2014. Keep in mind, as stated earlier, if you're working with a household with more than one adult, you would need to complete this same matrix on the other adult in the household. So for training today, let's go ahead and pretend that 6 months have gone by and my client is staying in a transitional housing project. So it's my responsibility as the case manager to do another self-sufficiency matrix to see how they're progressing while they've been staying with us. So I'm going to change my back date to 6 months later. So this time it'll be August 15th of 2014. And normally, obviously, I would have to look up my client in the system. But since I just did it, I will pull them from last viewed. Again, you would go to the Measurements tab. But this time, because I'm doing a follow-up to the initial, I'm not starting brand new. I am not going to click Add New Measurement. I'm going to click Add New Point of Measurement. And I'm going to have to choose from the list which point of measurement am I doing. Is this the interim or is this the final? And this is the interim because this is the 6-month mark, but they're not leaving, they're still here. Then click the Continue button, and when you do that, your domains open up. So we're going to answer these domains based on the 6-month mark. And I'm going to go through this quickly because we've already described each one. So this time they're still in transitional housing, but now they have a job. And their income is much better because they have a job. They're still on food stamps. Childcare is a little bit better. The children are still attending school. The adult still needs to get some more skills. They're still covered by access. Life skills have improved a little bit because they have more income coming in. Family relations are improving. Mobility is about the same. Community involvement has improved. Parenting skills are about the same. I said that they had no legal issues. They still don't. Mental health, a little bit better. Substance abuse, better. And safety, a little bit better. So you see they went from a 3.1 to a 3.8. That's great. Then you click Save and Exit. And now you've done your interim or 6-month matrix on this transitional client. Remember, if this was a permanent supportive housing client, we would have done that at the 1-year mark. Okay. So then last, I'm just going to show you how to do the final matrix when a client is getting ready to exit your project. So let's pretend that they ended up leaving on November 20th of 2014. And obviously I would have gone to Client Point and looked up my client, but we're already here, so let's just do it. I'm going to add one more new point of measurement, and this time it will be the final. And you click Continue. And just like always, your domains open below, and you do their final scoring based on their status as they're exiting your project. So I'm going to say they have an apartment, they're still employed, their income is fair, they're off food stamps, childcare is good, children are attending school all the time. The adult took some classes and has a better job. The better job provides employer-paid benefits now, so they're off access. Life skills are great. Family relations are about the same. Mobility is the same. Community involvement is the same. parenting skills have improved, they never had legal issues, mental health has improved, substance abuse, and safety. Once you have everything, all the domains completed, click Save and Exit. Now once you do your final self-sufficiency matrix, it closes, but if you ever wanted to go back and see the scores, just click on this little black arrow and it will open it up for you so you can see their progress over time. Okay, once your work is complete, you should log out of ServicePoint. Now let's go over a summary just to reiterate a few key facts that we went over today. Number 1, the self-sufficiency matrix should be completed on all adults staying in your project. Number 2, there are 17 required domains in the self-sufficiency matrix. Number 3, the 17 domains are shelter housing, employment, income, food and nutrition, childcare, children's education, adult education, healthcare coverage, life skills, mental health, family relations, mobility, community involvement, parenting skills, legal, mental health, substance abuse, and safety. Number 4, the self-sufficiency matrix should never be filled out by the client. It is the case manager's responsibility to complete the tool. Number 5, the self-sufficiency matrix assessment should always be accessed through the Measurements tab. And number 6, the self-sufficiency matrix should be completed at these intervals: emergency shelters at entry and at exit, transitional housing at entry every 6 months and at exit, and permanent supportive housing at entry, at annual assessment, and at exit. By following these steps and working through the examples, you have completed training on Case Management 205, the Self-Sufficiency Matrix. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at the HMIS Help Desk via email at hmissupport@cir.org or by phone or text at 602-908-3605. Thank you, and please refer back to your training confirmation email for further instructions.